The skies over Thiara Prime shimmered in a soft amber glow as the twin suns dipped toward the horizon. Floating cities, suspended by intricate anti-gravity fields, glimmered like strands of light across the verdant planet. From above, the world seemed calm, almost peaceful, but beneath the beauty lay tension that had been growing for years. Alien factions watched Thiara Prime with hunger in their eyes, and whispers of rebellion stirred in the dark corners of the courts. Princess Alara Therian adjusted the fabric of her ceremonial cloak as she stood on the balcony of the royal cruiser, preparing for the diplomatic delegation that would determine the planet's future alliances. At 22, she carried herself with the poise of a seasoned ruler, yet beneath the calm exterior, anxiety gnawed at her. She had always known the stakes of being the heir of Thiara Prime. She also knew that enemies lurked in places she least expected. "Your Highness," a voice interrupted, soft yet urgent. It was Captain Voren, head of the Royal Guard. "The Council awaits your presence. The delegation from Zephalon will arrive shortly. We must proceed." As the royal cruiser descended toward the landing platform, the atmosphere of the city shifted. Citizens moved aside in cautious respect, unaware of the storm about to break upon their streets. Alara's hovercraft touched down, and the royal party began their procession toward the Zephalon delegation. The streets seemed empty, too empty, and her guard tensed. Suddenly, the first warning came. A deafening roar shattered the calm, followed by a barrage of plasma fire that tore through the plaza. Alara's guards scrambled, shields flaring to deflect the deadly energy. Yet the attackers were swift and precise. The mercenaries moved like shadows, their alien armor blending with the twilight. It was a coordinated strike, an ambush no one had predicted. Alara's heart pounded as she realized the danger. The Zephalon delegation screamed and scattered, but the royal guard was immediately engaged, fighting a battle that seemed impossible. Plasma beams ricocheted off walls, smoke and debris filled the air, and the screams of terrified citizens echoed through the streets. She could see several of her guards fall, incapacitated by the ruthless precision of the attackers. Then, from above, a streak of movement caught her attention. A human figure, moving faster than any trained mercenary, dove from the sky, deflecting incoming fire with uncanny agility. It was Alex Rains, a veteran of countless interstellar conflicts, now serving aboard a nearby human cruiser on patrol. With controlled precision, Alex fought his way toward the princess, using not brute force but cunning strategy. He lured attackers into traps, exploited their overconfidence, and moved with the calm efficiency of someone who had survived wars most could not imagine. In moments, he had neutralized half the ambushers in the immediate area. "Alara, stay close," he shouted as he grabbed her arm and pulled her behind a ruined wall. Her breath came fast, and adrenaline coursed through her veins. "I don't know who these creatures are, but they want you dead. Follow me and stay silent." He rigged small explosions to redirect attackers and even used alien drones against their own masters, exploiting their programming flaws. The ambush led them deep into the city's underbelly, a labyrinth of abandoned maintenance tunnels and hidden passages known only to the few who maintained the city's anti-gravity networks. Here, Alex's skills truly shone. He knew how to navigate unknown terrain, improvise weapons from scraps, and predict enemy movements with almost preternatural accuracy. "Alara, we need to move now," he said, glancing back as alien reinforcements approached. "These tunnels will lead us to the extraction point. Stay close." He was human, yes, but he seemed to think in ways no alien or even trained soldier could. Each move was deliberate, each decision a step ahead of their enemies. And yet, he wasn't reckless. Every risk he took was calculated to protect her above all else. Hours seemed to pass in mere moments as they fought their way toward the rendezvous point. Finally, they emerged into a clearing where a human cruiser hovered, cloaked and ready for extraction. The ship's AI had coordinated with Alex, ensuring a perfect landing zone far from the chaos above. "Step aboard quickly," Alex commanded. The princess complied, still shaken but maintaining her composure. The cruiser lifted off, leaving the burning plaza behind. From the viewport, Alara watched as the city she had called home was left in ruins, her heart heavy but grateful to be alive. Inside the cruiser, Alex assessed her condition, checking for injuries. He treated minor wounds and ensured she was safe, his calm demeanor easing her racing thoughts. "You're safe now, princess," he said simply. "No one else can get to you while I'm here." "You saved my life," she said quietly, the weight of her words carrying the authority of a ruler and the sincerity of someone who had come close to death. I will not forget this. Reports came in that the Shadow faction had orchestrated the attack, an alien council known for manipulating and destabilizing human colonies. The royal court was in disarray, debates raging over who could protect the heirs if the princess were incapacitated. Alara, however, had made a decision. The court gasped when she announced it. Alex Rains, the human who had saved her life, would become guardian of her heirs. This decision was unprecedented. Humans were often respected for their courage, but never entrusted with the safety of royal lineage in a galaxy ruled by alien superiority. "You can't do this," one council member protested. "A human cannot be entrusted with the heirs." "It's too risky. The Shadow faction will see this as weakness and strike again. He will teach the children, guide them, and protect them as no one else can. I'm here to make sure you stay safe. You'll learn a lot from me and maybe even teach me some things too." He taught the twins how to anticipate danger, how to read people and environments, and how to use their minds as effectively as any weapon. The royal staff watched in awe as human ingenuity reshaped the heirs, education in ways they had never imagined. However, the Shadow faction was already moving. Surveillance reports indicated alien spies embedded within the palace, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Alex's presence complicated their plans, and the tension in the air grew thicker with each passing day. The princess remained vigilant, knowing that the peace was temporary, that danger still lurked, and that the fate of her planet and her children depended on her choice. Late one evening, as Alex patrolled the palace corridors, he noticed subtle anomalies: doors slightly ajar, sensor readings inconsistent, shadows that didn't belong. His instincts screamed that someone was watching, waiting for the moment to act. He moved swiftly, analyzing and predicting the paths of potential intruders, preparing to defend the heirs and the princess at any cost. Alara watched from her quarters, a mix of admiration and worry in her eyes. She had made a choice that went against centuries of tradition, but in Alex, she saw more than a human warrior. She saw a protector, a mentor, and a symbol of what humanity could achieve. The palace, once a place of serene authority, had become a crucible. Trust, intelligence, courage, and cunning would be tested in ways no one could anticipate. And as Alex moved through the corridors, ready to confront unseen threats, it became clear that the coming days would challenge everyone's limits. Somewhere in the shadows, the Shadow faction observed, plotting, waiting for the perfect moment. But for now, humanity had struck first, proving that courage and intelligence could change the balance of power in a galaxy that thought it already knew its rules. As night fell over Thiara Prime, the twins slept under Alex's watchful eye, and the princess finally allowed herself a moment of quiet. In the distance, stars gleamed with possibilities. The battle for the heirs and the future of the planet was just beginning, and in that moment it was clear that the galaxy had underestimated humanity at its peril. The night over Thiara Prime was calm, but it was a calm born of tension, not peace. Alex Rains moved through the palace corridors with quiet precision, his senses alert to the smallest shift in shadow or sound. Every detail mattered, and every decision could mean life or death for the princess's heirs. The twins, now more confident under his guidance, slept in their quarters, unaware of the danger that lurked beyond the palace walls. Alara watched from her chamber, her mind restless. The decision to place Alex as guardian of her heirs had been controversial, but she had no doubt it was correct. He had already demonstrated human ingenuity in ways no alien or court official could match. Yet she knew that intelligence and courage alone might not be enough. The Shadow faction would strike again, more cunning and better prepared. Early the next morning, subtle signs of infiltration became apparent. Sensors showed irregularities in the palace's energy shields, and surveillance drones captured fleeting images of alien operatives disguised as staff. Alex immediately convened a private meeting with Alara and the head of the Royal Guard. "They're inside," he said, his voice low but commanding. "They've been observing us, learning our routines. If we act carelessly, they'll strike when the heirs are vulnerable." He divided the palace into strategic zones, assigning human and loyal alien guards to positions while he focused on the twins and their training. The children would be his eyes and ears in ways no surveillance system could match. The twins, eager to prove themselves, had been learning quickly. Alex had taught them how to recognize patterns, predict movements, and even use simple defense mechanisms. Though young, their intelligence and curiosity made them valuable allies. He briefed them quietly in the library. "Remember," he said, kneeling to meet their eyes, The most important thing is to stay calm. Watch, listen, and trust what you see. If you do, you can help protect yourselves and the others. Alien operatives attempted a silent breach, using cloaked transporters to bypass the palace defenses. Yet, they had underestimated the humans' preparation. Alex had predicted their routes and set traps along every corridor, using a combination of misdirection, technological interference, and human cunning. The first wave of infiltrators triggered the traps, some ensnared by magnetic fields, others lured into containment chambers. Alarms blared, and the palace erupted into controlled chaos. Alex moved swiftly, coordinating with guards while remaining one step ahead of the enemy. Ilara, observing from the command balcony, felt a surge of pride. She had placed her trust in humanity, and humanity was delivering. Even when faced with foes who possessed superior technology and numbers, Alex's strategy and leadership were unmatched. The twins, positioned in a secure observation room, watched the intruders through encrypted surveillance feeds. Alex had taught them to notice patterns, predict actions, and report anomalies. Their quick thinking allowed guards to anticipate enemy moves, turning what could have been a devastating infiltration into a contained skirmish. Despite the chaos, Alex remained calm. He moved through the palace with calculated precision, intercepting enemy squads, disabling energy weapons with improvised devices, and even using the aliens' own tactics against them. He was not just a soldier, he was a strategist, a protector, and a teacher all at once. The alien attackers were relentless. They adapted quickly, employing new strategies to bypass the human defenses. Yet every move they made was anticipated. Alex's understanding of human unpredictability, combined with the Heirs' observations, gave them a decisive advantage. Hours passed in a tense blur. The Shadow Faction's operatives began to falter, their coordination disrupted by Alex's tactics. Human ingenuity proved superior in unexpected ways. Traps that exploited overconfidence, feints that misled enemy sensors, and improvised weapons that neutralized advanced technology. In a critical moment, a group of alien operatives attempted to reach the Heirs' quarters. Alex intercepted them in the main corridor, his presence alone commanding attention. He fought not with raw strength but with strategy, using the environment to his advantage. Collapsing walls, redirected energy conduits, and precise timing allowed him to outmaneuver foes who had once considered themselves invincible. The Heirs watched from their secure room, eyes wide, as their guardian moved with confidence and skill. This was more than survival. It was a lesson in courage, quick thinking, and the power of human resourcefulness. Ilara, meanwhile, coordinated reinforcements from the palace's upper levels. Her orders were precise, informed by the real-time reports from Alex and the twins. She realized that leadership was not just about command. It was about trust, observation, and adaptation. In this, humans excelled in ways that even the most advanced alien empires could not fully understand. By nightfall, the infiltration had been contained. The Shadow Faction's operatives were captured or neutralized, and their plans had been thoroughly disrupted. Thera Prime had survived, not through overwhelming force, but through strategy, ingenuity, and the unpredictable courage of humanity. The aftermath of the battle left the palace in disarray, but the Heirs were safe, and the threat had been neutralized for now. Alex gathered the twins in the central hall, guiding them through what had occurred. "You did well," he said. "You watched, you learned, and you helped. Never forget that your mind is your greatest weapon. Humans have always faced challenges that seemed impossible, and yet we survive and thrive. Remember this lesson." They had seen firsthand the difference one human could make against overwhelming odds, and they understood that courage, intelligence, and quick thinking could turn the tide in any battle. Ilara approached Alex, her expression a mix of gratitude and admiration. "You have done more than protect my children," she said. "You have shown them what it means to be human, and what humans are capable of." The palace was secure, her children were safe, and the humans she had once underestimated had proven their worth beyond any doubt. Yet Alex knew the peace was temporary. The Shadow Faction would not give up. They would return, and next time their tactics would be even more dangerous. But for now, humanity had struck first and demonstrated a truth that could not be ignored. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability often outweighed raw power and technology. Over the following weeks, life at the palace slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. Alex continued to train the Heirs, blending lessons in strategy, combat, diplomacy, and critical thinking. He involved them in palace security planning, teaching them to anticipate threats and think several steps ahead of any adversary. The twins excelled under his guidance. Their natural intelligence, combined with Alex's teaching, allowed them to develop skills far beyond their age. They learned to analyze data, predict enemy behavior, and even improvise solutions to complex problems. It became clear to everyone in the court that the heirs, under human mentorship, would grow into leaders of extraordinary capability. Alara observed these changes with a sense of pride. She had placed her trust in humanity, and humanity had not only protected her children but had also empowered them. The decision, controversial at first, had proven wise beyond measure. Rumors of the Shadow faction's failures spread quickly through the galactic network. Other alien powers began to reassess the underestimated humans of Thera Prime. Where once humans had been dismissed as clever but limited, they were now recognized as cunning, resourceful, and dangerous opponents when driven to defend what they valued most. Alex understood the significance of these changes. Humanity had not merely survived, they had made a statement. Intelligence, courage, and the ability to think beyond predictable patterns allowed them to succeed where others would have failed. It was a lesson he intended the heirs to remember and carry forward. One evening, as the sun set over Thera Prime, Alex stood on the balcony alongside the twins. The stars shimmered in the twilight, distant and constant. "Remember," he said, "the galaxy will always underestimate you if you let it, but never forget what humans are capable of. We survive, we adapt, and we triumph because we do not follow rules blindly. We think, we learn, and we act." They felt the weight of responsibility, but also the pride of possibility. Under Alex's guidance, they were not just heirs. They were the future of a human-influenced empire capable of confronting any challenge that might arise. Alara joined them, placing a hand on Alex's shoulder. "You have done more than protect them," she said softly. "You have prepared them for a future I cannot yet see. And in doing so, you have reminded the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated." The palace, now secure, stood as a testament to what one human could achieve against seemingly insurmountable odds. And as the stars twinkled above Thera Prime, a new chapter began, not only for the princess and her heirs, but for humanity itself. In the quiet that followed, the twins played quietly at his feet, testing small defense drills with the curiosity and joy only children could show. Alex watched them, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. They were ready. Humanity had proven itself once again, and the future, though uncertain, was bright. The Shadow faction might return, but the message was clear. Humans, underestimated and dismissed, were forces of ingenuity and courage the galaxy could not ignore. And with the princess's trust and the heirs' growing capabilities, Thera Prime, and perhaps all humanity, had secured a foothold in the galaxy that would endure for generations to come. The night deepened, stars blazing, and the human guardian stood watch, unyielding, vigilant, and ready for whatever came next. In every shadow, every whisper of movement, every challenge yet unseen, one truth shone brighter than any threat. Humans could endure, adapt, and triumph, and they always would.